I've often wondered when one explores the world of what is within and the exploration part of, when you observe things, that it becomes reality, how that actually happens, the mechanism behind it. And I've often wanted to see if what happens is if I avoid observing certain things, if I perhaps observe only certain things or certain parts, if I'm selective in my observation. And I've come to that place where perhaps it's as a rest point where I am able to see through my dreams and my experiences, people that I speak with, that the reality in itself, the system that is an overlay upon it, is really that which one needs to be mindful of. You see, the world that you're existing in, your immediate reality, your immediate environment, if you have to apply all the sciences, I'm not talking about the fake ones, I'm talking about the real scientific, metaphysic examples and investigations of how light works. When you look at something, you emit a frequency that goes towards it. It radiates towards it. So light emits light. The object that you're looking at or the event that you're looking at is really based out of a type of frequency or light. And you're made out of light as well, a type of frequency of light. And this is not about white light or dark light or light or dark, or nothing like that, or duality. This is pure observation in its mechanistic form. And when you present your emitting frequency towards the event or the object of what it is that you're looking at or experiencing, you feed that experience or that event or that object with your light frequency, your frequency. And when the frequency of the object or the event projects or emits back to you, because that's how it works. When you look at something, it looks back at you, even if it's stationary, or perhaps the word looking back at you is not a good word, but it does pose a type of sense, makes you feel that it does, because when you start to believe in that ideology or that idea or that event, it starts to reciprocate and present to you a path to follow, a type of journey. And often enough, if you've bought into that particular journey with all of your mind, body, soul, all of your senses, your spirit, everything, you believe in something wholeheartedly. Well, first of all, the word believe is quite a subjective term as well. In other words, let me say, if you become part of that object or that event's journey, which is really essentially then becoming your journey, you do have the explanation when you peer into the abyss, it peers back to you. And this is based on frequency. Light attracts light, or frequency attracts frequency. And so it then makes me ponder even more that the frequency really is a type of analog of the event that you're experiencing while you're going through that experience or that object. You're taking the hammer and you're going to use it to build a bed, and you're going to use the hammer to hammer nails in. If you use manual, of course, it's not really the point of the object. The fact is, there are so many events that are now being spun out or spun or woven into the realm dynamics of mostly everyone. Just because it's around you, of course, you've chosen not to become involved in it. Yes, that is good. That is very good. We all have to strive to that place. We all have to strive to become unaffected by certain events. But you can become selective. You can be selective. And you can recognize what is from a higher place, from an untainted origin, and or from the heart. You can recognize that. And you don't have to advertise it, to make it a big story, or sell the story, or sell the angle to so many people, to anyone, and even to yourself. It has the capacity to perpetuate itself. It is possible, unless there are still so many people that are still so very fixed in the systems of events, of mind control, of technological drive, of illness, of things that make you need to sit up and pay attention to. You're still perhaps trapped in the Lovecraftian ideologies, which really do always end up in chaos. If you find yourself in a space or in a place where you feel you're pretty much alone while you're aware of this situation, while you're aware of how the reality is being manipulated by systems, then you're not alone. Because there are many of us that are observing this particular process while we are perhaps the watchers. We may be observing from afar, or we may be the ones that are in the journey. It doesn't matter where you are. This is not about positioning oneself. Because really, once you start to dismantle and disconnect your involvement in the systemic influences, you are then facing a position, a place, a space, a situation, an event within yourself, which perhaps feels to you like it could be very similar to an awakening. You go through these layers of events and experiences inside of your consciousness, which makes you question almost everything then. And this is where it's important. Don't rush to try and get out of everything too quickly, because if you do, you miss the point. You miss the fact that you are able to become discerning, literally, into choosing what you would like to have play out. So just as much as you're able to step out of everything and observe from the outside in and observe the causality, you are able to also be selective, as I said, in how you want to experience a particular reality. And that is only determined by you. And the question next obviously comes as I'm thinking, does this not perhaps add to chaos? Certainly not. Because if you're operating from a higher perspective, if you're operating from a higher frequency, from a place where you are feeling at peace, and there is zero fear, there is absolute calmness, and you are solidly connected to your Creator, it is important to have that form available, that awareness, because it's not always often easy to go through things in a type of agnostic or atheistic manner. When I say atheistic or agnostic manner, I'm saying you are absolutely giving zero focus to anything around you. And that may then become almost chaotic because there is no order. And so you require a sense of order within yourself, an order that is perhaps based from the heart, an order that is perhaps based from love, an order that is perhaps based on family values, morals, etc. These things must be your order. These things must be what you consider to be the measure of all of the events, of the experience. If it doesn't weigh up to your order of morals, of kindness, of love, if there's not enough love in certain things that you experience, if you feel like you've got no choice, and it weighs against your scales of love, morals, care, nurture, kindness, etc. If it's an imbalance, then you should know if it's good for you or if it is something that you can actually avoid altogether. So the process is not one that takes you to the land of milk and honey, since it is within you, that journey. You seek the milk and the honey within yourself. You fight the lion, like Samson in the biblical histories, mythologies. You have to wrestle the force of the lion that is wanting to devour any and every event. You would be like the lion that would do that. So you wrestle with that event and that experience. You wrestle with that lion that could be based on desires, on needing to see certain things happen, needing to see certain people need to fall, or having to see certain things to take place because you feel justified. Justification is like a lion, but once there is morals and kindness weighing that up in the scale in the heart, then you are able to find the honey, the bee nest within the mouth of the lion. That is how one must understand how this reality works. So as you're traveling towards the path of the middle road, or the path of the heart, the path of the Most High, you will experience deeper form of consciousness that requires you to think much more carefully how you step into the next path. It really is that much more deeper, more complex. So do it slowly. And I leave that with you.